Hey, what's going on? So, I'm going to share a one on one conversation I had with a buddy of mine from high school who's starting his own business. So, we were talking about his offer stack and like multiple ways of acquisition and so on. And he was saying, hey, I've got this quiz that I want to give out to people, and I want to do a subscription and a community and education, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on it. And I just recognized the thought pattern of feeling like you have to be clever in order to get people across the finish line, in order to get someone to pay you for a service or a product. Because I literally made the mistake of, building out quiz funnels. Here's the quiz funnel that I built, making fancy lead magnets, and generally spending a lot of time and money trying to be clever. And since I thought the video would be helpful to other people who are also just starting out, I decided to put up mostly my side of the conversation as a video. And if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe. I put out new videos once a week. Enjoy. My thoughts when I was listening to this was that there's a lot of spokes here, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of the business model, you're kind of like you're going after a platform. There's like an affiliate service
Yeah.
type thing. There's an actual service, like physical service thing.
Yeah.
There's a subscription element to it. Like to me, as a solo, you're working on the solo for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that's like wait, too many.
Yeah.
What is that? Four? So that's
Yeah.
three too many.
Yeah.
Because it's like the only time. So with my previous business, which was like an admissions consulting
Yeah.
thing, it was like the advice that I found most helpful was one channel, one avatar, one service, or one
Right.
product, right? Like one. Literally just sell one thing to one person through one method.
Right.
Right? Like, because then it's like it doesn't like all of this stuff kind of falls away. It's like, oh, how does the subscription model gel into
Yeah.
the
That's a really good
maintenance?
point.
Like
Mm.
that would be the first one. The second thing is if your time scale is within 5 months, you have to be learning something. You're going to have to go with the service element, I think.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because service is the closest thing you have to like a product where you're selling for an exchange, right? Like it's like a actual like exchange of value for money, and it can happen immediately, right? Like, whereas everything else, like the platform, the affiliate model, and the subscription model, it requires a much higher level of proof. It requires much more development up front, and it requires much more traffic up front. Whereas with a service, it can be like, okay, everything becomes much more simple because it's like, for this one thing that I'm doing, I can charge this much, which means if I want to make this much money, I need to sell this many people. And then you can like go back, right? Like, one out of three people that I talk to convert and pay me, which means if I want 10 sales, I need 30 people I need to talk to. And if I spend $10 in ads a day, I get 5 people. So like whatever the math is, like you can work it all the way backwards to like, what is the thing that I need to do every single day in order to get the financial outcome that I want, right? Like, and with the service, it becomes much more easy to do that calculation. Okay. You also need trust. Like you said, it's kind of a brand, right? Like you're building a brand, and it's a commoditized brand. Have you seen those TikToks, those YouTube videos of like locksmiths that do like POV, or like delivery drivers, right? Like you need to be, because this is a thing that people only need every now and again. Right? Like it's not like, even with a car mechanic or insurance, like you're closer to a locksmith or a car mechanic than vitamins or like Strava, right? Like the like running app thing. Because it's like you either have a problem or you don't, and when you have a problem, you just go with whatever is the closest, is the most convenient, is the cheapest, like whatever your priorities are. And you have to be the person that's like front of mind for that, which means you need to build trust. So you have 30 people that you're already helping. So what I would just do is ask them to give you a testimonial in whatever format you think. Basically, you want to get them to give you a testimonial and say like, hey, I'm trying to do this thing professionally. Can you just write a few words about like
how I helped you, and get them to be as specific as possible. People feel like they have to give generic advice. Like if you just ask them to give you a testimonial, they'll be like, "Oh, this was really helpful. I'd recommend it to anyone who's got a bike." That's less powerful than like, "Oh, I had this problem where I needed a lock because of this, and I live in this area, and my bike is worth this much, and Harry helped me figure out the top 5 options, but and then I chose this one. I would recommend that to anyone." Right? Like that is a much more powerful story. Just as a side note. Okay. Taking one step back, so that's like your conversion mechanism, right? Like you build up trust so that you're top of mind when people need the thing. What method you use for that, I don't know. Because it's like a top of mind type thing, maybe flyers would work, maybe like door to door would work. Maybe you can work with bike clubs, right? Like I don't know what the exact like mechanism would be. Like that's something you'd probably have to trial and error. But taking one step back, you do need to build kind of a base. Like you want people to find you a certain way, right? Like I would say content,
Right.
just because like I'm sure you've seen you're kind of the living example of like what I'm talking about here, right? But like even though my messaging on Instagram, like I mostly do Instagram just because I want the practice of like talking to a camera. And I think that, I'm not expecting anything. I'm not selling anything on Instagram, neither with the newsletter really, but I'm just like getting practice building up an audience. But with my previous business, I was using paid ads as acquisition, and I had a blog and a YouTube channel where I spoke about like the specific niche that I was in. And so what would happen is people would see the paid ad, click through to my Facebook and Instagram, just have a browse through and be like, okay, like this person kind of seems to know what they're talking about, and then they book a call, and then go on a sales call with them, and then convert them, right? I'm not sure I would recommend using paid ads up front. Just because the reason I did that was because the service that I was using was such high margin. It was like sort of high ticket one-to-one consulting. So I could kind of afford to burn a bit of cash, like trying things out. But that content element, it's literally like that locksmith video, like if you start doing this thing where you go out and help people out, you can even do it for free, like put an ad on Nextdoor being like, hey, if anyone has bike trouble, I'm your friendly neighborhood bike guy. Like you can, and if you go out and film that and put it on YouTube, like that's content, the content kind of makes itself. I kind of got the impression that maybe you were trying to be clever, which is it's not a diss. Like I heard it being described as like being cute, like you try and do this like I'm gonna do like a recurring subscription model with like a this quiz platform, but it's like no, like you're offering bike mechanic services, go out and people fix their bikes, and then charge them money for it. And then all of the other stuff kind of comes through the back end, right? Because if you become really good at fixing bikes and you build up a name for yourself for being able to fix bikes, and like you have a bit of an audience of people that like want you to fix their bikes, like then you can be like, you can get a little bit cute then, because then you have the brand, and it's like bike meetup, whatever, like bike race, you can do all these things that are kind of fun, and like, and then you can even work in your mission, like we're getting, we work with disadvantaged people, blah blah blah, right? But the first thing is like, are you good at fixing bikes, yes or no? Do you have proof of that, yes or no? And then it's like, okay, if it's yes for both, then people will come to you to get them to fix their bikes. But it's like, before any of that, I think all of the other stuff is kind of a distraction. And I say that because I've fallen in that trap before, where I get distracted with like trying to be cute.
That's really helpful. So it sounds like based on what you said, the most sensible way to start is to try and get my friend involved, who's a very experienced bike mechanic, because I can do it, but he's just much quicker than me, which is the key thing. If you want to make money as a mechanic, you just got to be really fast. Get him involved, start offering it in Basingstoke, driven by testimonials and sort of flyers and a local kind of presence, and make sure you're really good at fixing bikes, but also offer recommendations for free, one offer. You need lights, we'll tell you what to get, etc.
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of the camp of like, if you can do it yourself, then I think you should do it yourself. Just because like you'll learn stuff by going out there and looking at it, your customers and the problems they're having from like a first person perspective. You'll pick up on things that your friend probably wouldn't, unless he's of the same mind, he has the same goals as you, in which case fine, fair enough.
Okay,
but I would just go out there and go and fix some bikes. Just go and fix some bikes and maybe film it and put it on YouTube. Do that for a little bit. How you find those people, I'm not completely sure. Like, again, maybe next door, maybe like Facebook Marketplace.
I think I have quite a decent network in Basingstoke.
Okay.
I think I could WhatsApp 100 people who I know and say, can I help you with your bike? And you could have some kind of offer where £10 off if you manage to tell 3 people about this.
Are you charging for the 30 people you're helping now?
No, it's just family and friends.
Okay. Get those testimonials. Like, really actually ask them for testimonials, because a lot of people are like, sure, but it's like, no, like, this is actually like what is going to make you money. It's like other people have to know and trust that you are going to fix their bike, right? Like, and you get that by getting testimonials. I'd say like next, just to really make it concrete, bring it down to earth, is like you have to get those testimonials. You have to start building kind of a base, like a channel, where people can find out about the testimonials, right? Like they have to be able to click through and see that somewhere, whether that's, I don't know, Facebook page, Instagram page, I don't know. I think that's up to you. But like that's probably where I would start if this was me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. That's super helpful.
Fair enough.
I have been plowing my attention into the website. Because arguably that's the most novel aspect of what I'm doing, and I guess the other route is to try and make that really compelling and get people to invest in it or grant fund it, but that's quite high risk of actually happening or not happening. If I decide to park the servicing bit for now and just do the website, and I guess the vision I have is on Instagram, some advert around getting the most out of your bike doesn't need to be difficult. Take our quiz for a free recommendation, and sort of show them the experience in a little video, and then people give it a go, and it's free, so they're maybe more inclined to click on it than someone trying to sell them a product. And just curiosity around, what are my results? And it just becomes like the place to go if you're a young, relatively normal person who just wants to get the most out of your bike or doesn't have time to do all the research. Do you think that if there's any route where that could work?
How good are you at marketing, advertising?
Not very good.
Then I wouldn't do that. Just because like there's a learning curve. Like I've probably spent what would the number be? Probably like $5,000 or so just on ads that never worked. And now like kind of at the point where like I can run an ad and get some reasonable results. But like it's like any skill, right? Like You have to learn how to do it. And the only difference with paid ads is like you have to pay to learn how to do it. Whereas with the other stuff, you can get paid to learn how to do it, like actually fixing a bike. So I guess it's up to you. Like if you want to burn some cash and learn some stuff, like it's a good thing to learn, to be fair. But yeah, in terms of like return on investment, up front, you're going to get nothing for a while.
Okay.
That's just the way things are. Because like you'll have to learn, how to write copy. You'll have to learn how to like structure pain points. You'll have to actually have a value proposition. You'll have to convert on the back end. Like there are so many steps. So like going from back to front, all advertising is you're putting your offer in terms of people, right? Like, and you're trying to grab their attention, right? So front to back, you're trying to grab their attention. You have to have a hook. You have to have a visual. You have to describe pain points. Like you have to learn how to do all that, and then you have to learn how to target. So like you have to know who your target audience is and how to actually target them on whatever platform you choose. You will also not know what's like a reasonable amount to spend, right? So like initially spending $10 and getting no one to click on your website and like opt in to an email might seem like a lot, but like is it a lot? I don't know. It depends. Like what are you selling? Like what's on the back end? If you're selling a building for $10 million, like you're not going to get anyone for $10, right? Like you can probably spend $1 million and get one person who's like a viable buyer. So like on the front end, there's that. Like you have to funnel people in, grab their attention, and you're competing, by the way, against every other business, right? Like whatever, like Sony, Samsung, Apple, like they all use these platforms to grab people's attention. So like you're in direct competition with them. And then on the back end, like once they come onto your website, you have to build a website that people want to use, and you have to answer a question that's actually valuable. You have to capture their whatever contact information, whatever you're using, and then you have to be able to nurture them through lead nurture, email marketing, and then on the back end you convert them to a service somehow. But it's like there are so many steps. Why not just talk to someone who needs a bike that's fixed and go fix their bike,
But this has been like unbelievably helpful for me, so thank you so much for your time.
I'm glad. No worries, man. Thanks for getting in touch, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Go fix some bikes.
Nice. Have a good day.
That's good. You too, man. See ya.
Bye.